Hey, all you Zealots and Zerglings, it's time for another team mono battle. The map here is Biolab. The teams are Spartan, the blue Protoss, with Dunamai, the teal Protoss, and they are going against Wolfpack, the orange Zerg, and Contrarian, the green Zerg. So Protoss versus Zerg. Interesting. And what are our unit combinations? We got Sentry Carrier for the Protoss and Hydralisk Ultralisk for the Zerg. So how is that one going to work out? Well, the Hydralisks are going to basically destroy everything. So this match is actually going to go to the Zerg. I have a feeling right now. Because Hydralisks are slow, but the sentries are not going to stop them. They're going to need to, he's going to need to use tons of force fields to stall until the carriers get out, and then use the and then continue to use the force fields in order to keep the carriers at range. And I think that's the only way that the Protoss win this match. But we'll just have to see. I did wait quite a long time before I actually started recording this because I wasn't sure if they were going to want to do these units. But no one objected, so we're just going to go right into it. And expect Dunamai and Wolfpack to have the first units up. Now Dunamai's done Sentry before. I believe that cast is already up. Last time he was taking his sentries against carriers, now he's got the carriers on his side. Will that make a difference? I don't know, but we're going to have to find out. And it looks like Spartan is going to put a gateway up here at the front. I guess that's just for spotting, because if I recall, he's doing the carriers. So yeah, he doesn't really need this. Once he gets his core out, he doesn't need the gateway anymore. Unless he wants to get double cores in order to get double upgrades for his air units. It looks like instead he's going to put a pylon here. Is it going to be expanding already? A little early to expand, but he is going to need the resources. Especially once we get the Hydralisks out. Who is getting the Hydralisks again? That's Wolfpack. So we'll look for Wolfpack to try to put on some early pressure. If they get enough carriers, maybe the Hydralisks won't be able to do it, although they will probably tear up those interceptors faster than Contrarian can make them. But we'll see. No, not Contrarian, Spartan. Sorry, I'm so used to Contrarian doing Protoss air, I just assumed this must have been him. It looks like we are going to cannon out. That might be a good strategy, but Hydralisks will tear through cannons pretty quickly. The only thing that might be more devastating to cannons than Hydralisks are Ultralisks. But Hydralisks are a little flimsy. That could play a part. Let's get the production tab up. We do have Sentry production has begun. Warp Gate technology also beginning. We do have our first Stargate here for Spartan. He's going to need to get that up, and then he's going to need to get his fleet beacon. It looks like he's decided to build all his stuff at his expansion. Have they been scouted yet? Let's check. Have they been scouted? They have not been scouted. It's almost like he's going to say, well, I'm going to put this at my expansion, and you're never going to find it because you're going to think I'm going to build it here at my main. But they don't know where your main is. So I guess he just decided to build it here for feng shui, I guess. Stargates just do not belong in northeast bases because it just throws off the feng shui. Yes. And getting more gateways out here for Dunamai. He's going to need to get all those sentries out, and he's going to need a lot of gas too. But he is building up a healthy buffer of it. We're going to want to get those upgrades too. He's definitely going to want to, I think he almost just wants to get the armor upgrades first. He's going to keep those sentries alive as long as possible because they're not going to be doing any damage. In fact, I don't know what they're... Well, I guess to say I know what they do with the Ultralisk. You just gotta wait for the carriers to come out. Hydralisk Den is going up now, so soon we are going to start churning out those Hydralisks. And he's got to get the range upgrade. If he's going to compete against those carriers, the range upgrade is essential. Because he needs to get as close to those carriers as possible. I mean, he could snipe down all the interceptors. It might be an effective tactic for Hydralisks. But you really want to take down those carriers, not the interceptors. They build cheap and they build quick. Quicker than you can kill them with Hydralisks? I don't know, but we'll find out because we got 4 Hydralisks on the way. Do we have that fleet beacon yet? We do have the fleet beacon. Gotta get that carrier production started. Why are we not starting carriers? You can afford carriers. There's the first carrier coming out now. And he's definitely going to get some... We need to get some more probes out. He's got a good buffer of gas right now, but he's got to get some minerals up. He's got some good saturation here. What kind of probe count does he got? In fact, he may even be oversaturated. He might be able to transfer some of them to here, but he definitely has got to keep probe production going. He's got to get this saturated so he can fund more Stargates. So at least they will have Stargates up before any time before any units attack. And we're getting some spine crawlers out. I don't know what the point of the spine crawlers is. Sentries are really not all that powerful. I wouldn't really worry about them sneaking into your base and doing a lot of damage because the Hydralisks can just run them down and completely destroy them. So the spines might be a bit of waste because they are not going to do anything against carriers. Be better off with spores. Spores will actually do pretty good. They'll help thin out the interceptor forces if you're on the defensive. Looks like Wolfpack's going to be taking this gold expansion over here. And do we got double carrier production yet? We don't, but we can afford it. We're those carriers. You've got good resources. You can start funding some carriers. You can afford 2 carriers, I think. So as soon as this is done, he can pop out 2 more carriers. I'm not sure why he's not right now. Come on, let's get double carriers out. You can afford another carrier. There you go. Now there's some double carriers. You may want to start spending some chrono boosts on those just to get them up, or maybe on the probes. Use them on something. Just use your chrono boosts. There you go. I saw chrono boosts being used. That was probably on the Stargates. Yep. So he wants to get those carriers out quickly. Does he have a third base up? No, that's Dunamai's base. You want to throw up a third base. You're going carriers. You're going to need all the resources you can muster. And let's do a quick unit count right now. We've got 1 carrier out here for Spartan, 2 more on the way, 7 sentries out here for Dunamai. Nothing yet for Contrarian, although he is on 4 bases, so he is really going to pump out the Ultralisks once he gets to the tech. And 15 Hydralisks for Wolfpack. Now, where is Contrarian in his tech path? Does he have his hive yet? No, he's still on lair tech. He needs to get an infestation pit. There it goes down right now. So he needs to get that, then his lair, then his Ultralisk cavern. And no Evo chambers yet. You've got a lot of resources. Get some Evo chambers out and start doing upgrades. And we do have the 1-1 coming here for Wolfpack. Very good to get those upgrades on those Hydralisks. They do a lot more damage and last a little bit longer. And we do have a nice photon cannon line here. A lot of sentries. I think force field might be force fields will help control the Hydralisks so that your carriers can get in good position. Guardian Shield will help mitigate the damage, but you really don't want the Hydralisks in your faces. So I think using the force fields just to hold them back while the carriers thin them out is really what they want to be doing here. Oh, and hallucinating a Phoenix. Is he going to be using that for scouting? I believe he is. So what is he going to be seeing? Oh, he's going to be seeing Hydralisks snipe it instantly. Okay, well, there was some good energy, but perhaps wasted. I wonder if he can hallucinate some carriers. There's going to be another Phoenix. He can hallucinate... No, he can't hallucinate carriers. That would be an interesting decoy to hallucinate carriers, but it doesn't look like he's allowed to do that. So you're going to use your hallucinations for scouting or for trying to draw fire, as long as your opponents aren't focus firing. Careful, you got some spore crawlers forming here. You don't want to lose another scout. And yeah, don't worry about the queen. You can last pretty long against the queen. Okay, try to get all the tactical information you can. Looks like the +1s are almost done, and Contrarian is now getting the +1s for his Ultras, but the Ultras cavern is not up yet. He's still working on his hive. Getting the level 1 armor for the carriers might be a good choice. He wants to keep those things alive as long as possible, and keep the interceptors alive as long as possible too. He does have 3 carriers. Is he going to stay here and try to defend with them, or is he going to try to do some harassment, kind of get the Hydralisks out of position? They don't move very fast, although they do on creep. But if you can keep moving it away from your base and doing a little bit of damage, that might be a good idea. And now getting the level 2 air weapons. Oh, I already had the level 1 attack. I did not know that. What kind of resources do you have right now? He's keeping his money kind of low. Oh, and he's getting the Graviton Catapult, which launches those interceptors lightning quick. It is a very good upgrade. Of course, it only works once they launch. Once they're in the air, it doesn't really have any effect. They'll launch really, really fast and do a lot of initial surge of damage, but then they just kind of swarm around just like the interceptors do, and nothing happens. Which is kind of what this game is doing, but oh, we got Hydralisks moving out now. They're +1. He does not have the +2 attack yet. Doesn't quite have a lot of... He's got a ton of minerals. He needs more gas, and he's going to try to poke at this entrance. See if he's going to be able to do any damage. I don't know. He might want to use some force fields. Now, Guardian Shield's probably not your best bet here. You want to use force fields. Hold those Hydralisks back so that the interceptors can do the damage. Guardian... one force field not really going to stop it, and this entrance is looking thin, but the Hydralisks are getting thinned out, and the carriers are completely strong right now. A lot of sentries lost, but the carriers are fine. So they did their business. They may want to, they need to rebuild that wall, though. Who's got the best resources counts right now? If I can click on someone else's units. Why am I not getting anyone else's units? There we go. I guess either one of them could rebuild this wall right here, but it's Spartan's pylon, so maybe he should rebuild the wall. And that did completely thin out Wolfpack's forces, but oh no, here come the Ultralisks, and they're going to do a lot of damage. The carriers are going to have to try to take them out. Wolfpack might have been better off waiting for the Ultralisks to come out, because the Ultralisks could do a ton of damage while the Hydralisks are trying to make sure not to keep the Hydralisks or keep the Ultralisks alive. But the Ultralisks going this alone, the carriers can just snipe them at will. And there are a lot of carriers. And their interceptors do 6 damage, weapon speed 1, so that's... Oh, and a double attack, so they're going to do 12 damage every 1 game second. Trying to get those photon cannons back up. Might have even been a good idea to put the photon cannons behind a row of buildings, just so that it's a lot harder to snipe them. And there are the Ultralisks. They are 1-1. We aren't getting any more upgrades for them yet. We are getting level 2 armor for the carriers. I believe they already have level 2 attack. And we're getting level 2 attack for the sentries, which I don't think is a good idea. Oh, and this force is going to be moving out. But here come the Ultralisks. And the sentries are going to get completely destroyed. But the Ultralisks might as well. I can't really see what's going on here right now. And here come the Hydras. And the carriers are not in a good position. The Ultras are going to run right past. And the carriers are trying to pull back, but now the Hydralisks are going to snipe them. If they shoot the Hydralisks or they shoot the Ultras, the carriers just got completely pinchered right now. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Or a Hydralisk and an Ultralisk. And the Ultralisks are running amok. And he's going to have to try to chase those down. He has finished off the Hydralisks. He's got to chase down these Ultras. They're going for his main Nexus, which may be to his benefit, because all he's got really here is probes and a single Nexus. All of his tech structures are going to be protected. This, it kind of does hurt to lose this Nexus, but it may be better than him losing his fleet beacon, for example. And now these Ultras have got to try to get out of there. And these sentries are just going to their deaths. At least, oh no, I have to say, at least use force fields. They can't use force fields against the Ultralisks. I just realized that. The force fields are worthless once the Ultralisks come out, but now the Ultralisks are dead. He's going to have to rebuild them. He can rebuild an awful lot, though. Level 2 coming up on those Hydralisks. Level 2 not yet coming up on those Ultralisks. I guess he wants to get the Ultralisks up. Oh, but he's got a Nidus for him. Does he have anyone in position to spot for it? I don't see any Overlords on that side of the map. So the Nidus network is not going to come into play just yet. And we check the units lost right now. And yeah, Wolfpack lost an awful lot of Hydras. They aren't cheap. And then Contrarian lost an awful lot of Ultralisks. I guess those carriers are doing damage a lot faster than I thought. They are out DPSing the Hydralisks, it looks like. I thought when he got him pinchered in there, he was in big trouble, but he maybe focused a little bit. Maybe he wasn't focus firing the carriers, and he was going for the interceptors. I don't know. Oh, and now we're getting the chitinous plating, which is going to really help out these Ultralisks against these carriers, because they'll just last so much longer. Oh, is Contrarian getting in position to try to do a nice network? Well, that's not going to happen because these carriers are going to spot that. And they are moving in on the offensive, which is what they need to do. If they can snipe these Hydralisks, then there's going to be no defense, and they're just going to have to try to base race to win this, and he's going to pull the carriers back, which is exactly what he needs to do. You gotta be careful, he doesn't want to lose too many carriers, and there goes the Guardian Shield, which is going to help tons. I don't think the Guardian Shield stacks, so this is a waste of energy. You only need 1 or 2 Guardian Shields. And the Hydralisks are gone right now. Don't focus on the spine crawlers. You don't really need the sentries there to help you that much. Focus on, focus on spores. Focus on hatcheries. Even focus on queens. Don't focus on spine crawlers. I don't care whether or not you get Dunamite sentries into this base. And is there a counterattack coming? There is a counterattack of Ultralisks coming. They do have some carriers to deal with it. And I think I just, yeah, this might be enough carriers to slow them down. And good idea of him to split his forces. Oh, now the Hydralisks are going to do much better against these. You got to focus fire on the Hydralisks because you're going to get your carrier sniped. Oh, is it going to make it? He's got 30 hit points left. Yeah, you got to get the sentries in there. You got to do anything you can to defend these carriers because most of the carriers are back here killing off the Ultralisks. And it looks like the Ultralisks are slowing down. Dunamite's losing his Stargates, or his Warp Gates, but those are fairly easily rebuilt. They need to get back on the offensive again. 8 more Ultralisks on the way. Oh, and he did snipe the carriers. So maybe splitting up his forces was not a good idea because he needs all the carriers he can muster to take out these Hydralisks. But what are you going to do when there's Ultralisks in your base? Where are those? Oh, the Ultralisks are still alive. I didn't even realize that. And Dunamite's in trouble now. It might be to his benefit to send some carriers out to try to find Contrarian's tech, because it looks like the Ultralisks are the difference maker right now, because Spartan has got to move his carriers wherever those Ultralisks are. If the Ultralisks attack, he's got to be there to defend, because the sentries are not going to do it. There's exactly 0 that sentries can do against Ultralisks. I'll tell you that right now. There's 0 that sentries can do against Ultralisks. These Ultralisks did get out of position. They're trying to pull back. I still don't know what these spine crawlers are for. Don't focus down the spine crawlers. They're not your primary target. Oh, is he going to find the Hydralisk den? No, the Hydralisk den is tucked safely back way here in the back. And here come the Hydralisks to try to defend. And yeah, he's got to keep those interceptors built. But oh, there's too many Hydralisks here. He's getting his carriers too split up. That may be his demise. How many carriers does he have right now? He still has 6 carriers. I'm not sure where they are right now. Oh, they're fending off another Ultralisk force. I thought they had it with these carriers. They seem to be doing a lot better against the Hydralisks than I thought, but the Ultralisks are just too beefy. As long as Contrarian can keep up his Ultralisk production, he can keep throwing them at these walls and destroying everything in his wake. I mean, right now they need like a suicide mission to try to snipe his Ultralisk cavern. Where is that Ultralisk cavern? Oh, it's way back here. So that's a long way off. Although they have easy access to it from right there, but they probably don't even know where it is at. No, they do not have very good scouting information, so they can't really snipe it. But that may be what they need to do. The Ultralisks seem to be winning this game. I am surprised. I thought the Hydralisks would do better against the carriers. That's good information to know. And really, these Ultralisks need to find that. Whoa! That's a lot of photon cannons. Like I say, the Ultralisks need to find the carrier production facilities. Getting rid of the sentries is not going to help out much. So it looks like Dunamite is probably finished. Yeah, he's got this expansion, but what is he going to do? He has no tech left. This is his remaining tech. And that is about to go down. Yeah, those Ultralisks are pretty beefy. Carriers just can't DPS them fast enough to stop them from doing tons of damage. And the Zerg are just expanding across the map. And now they're going to try to take down this wall of cannons. Spartan doesn't look like he has the gas to fund much more in the way of carriers. Although, oh, I guess he has a Hydralisk problem, but he's got to get his carriers over to where the Ultralisks are. Oh, but they're about to break through, and once these production facilities go down, not that it matters, he can't afford to fund the carriers anymore. And there's the GG. So I thought this game was going one way, suddenly it flipped and went the other way, and it may have flipped a couple of times. So I hope you enjoyed this team mono battle, and have a day.